and then I'll go back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Social Saturday Chat Live. Today is Saturday, May 30th, 2026, and I'm here with my wonderful co-hosts, Martha and Joel. Joel is going to be here in the background today, but Martha and I will be here to talk about community today. So we're going to ask you all to come up early and join us for the conversation because we really want to make sure this is an engaging conversation that you can benefit from. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to Joel first because Joel's going to take a little bit of a break. So Joel, a little introduction and what your thoughts about this, and tell us what you're going to be doing afterwards.
Hello, everybody. Yes, my name is Joel. I run a neurodivergent company based around music and all sorts of weird and wonderful creative things. And would be normally excited for this conversation, but I decided that today I haven't given myself time at all off on the weekend, and normally I'm working like a dog, so today I'm going to give myself time off in the sunshine, and I'll still be here in the background, but if you all want to connect with me afterwards, then feel free to get to know me more. But I think this topic was about Martha, so that's what Mac told me earlier today. So let me remove myself from the screen, and then we'll let the conversation happen.
Okay, thank you, Joel. Martha, since this is your topic, I'll do my introduction and then let you dive into it.
I remember having a conversation, but it's all of our topic. Yeah, we're all part of community, so we'll all help. Can you hear me, Felipe?
I don't know what it is with my. Let me try something here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to introduce myself really quick.
I still can't hear you, but I'll come back to you in a second here. Let me just do a quick introduction, and then I'll bring it back to you. I just want to see if this audio changes here. All right, speak now. I want to see if I can hear you.
Testing?
Now, all right. Let me do my intro, and I'll come back. But for those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Felipe Cofino. I've been an HR exec for 25 plus years. I'm the founder of Cofino Consulting, where I offer HR training, recruitment, compliance, and auditing services. And I also am an international best-selling children's book author of Backyard Adventures. The first one was about Miranda and Max, and the second one that I'm about to publish is called Brady and Lucky the One-Eyed Cat. So that is something that I do in my spare time when I have fun, and it's a way for me to give back to my children and hopefully to my grandkids one day. I'm also a LinkedIn top voice, and I don't take that lightly. That's something that I try to make sure that everything that we do here is of value. So whether it's here with the Social Saturday Chat crew or my Monday shows with Sumana Jetty, Workplace Wellness Hour, where we talk about workplace wellness issues, everything from AI to emotional intelligence to burnout. And then the Careers Chaos and Coaching, which I do every other Sunday with Melissa Houston, which is tomorrow. And that tomorrow we are going to be talking about how to go from online networking and connections to in person, because there is a value in both. And there's Melissa Houston right now. So, with that, I'm going to pass it over to Martha because this talk about community is important. We all talk about it a lot, but one of the things that is wonderful about LinkedIn is that we've really built an amazing community here. And whether it's among all your network or among the Social Saturday Chat crew, it's a community and it's a value, and we are here for each other in ways that other people aren't. So this is something to tap into, but also let's talk about the community around you in person. the ones that are in your neighborhood, in your backyard, because that community is even more valuable. And there's an impact we can do. I know Martha's going to talk about a lot about that today. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Martha to introduce herself while I fix my audio and hear more about this topic. Over to you, Martha.
Thank you so much, Felipe. Hello, friends. I see you all in the chat here in very tiny little words. I have to find my glasses. I don't know where I left them. For friends that don't know me, my name is Martha, and I am the founder of Connect Impact Hub. And what we do here is we're providing advocacy services. We just made some updates, and more updates are coming. We are officially active in 7 states providing advocacy services. I'm so proud of that. And just this morning, I got a contact in a new state that wants to present me to their group of folks so I can come and support their folks. So I'm excited about talking about this conversation community. And also, you know, the good and the bad about it too, because of course we have to be very transparent with that as we grow as people in the community, and then how can we help other people? So for me, like we were talking, Felipe, I remember having a conversation with Mac. I thought it was going to be last week, but that wasn't that right. And I wasn't prepared. Okay. I have to tell you guys, I'm not prepared for this conversation. So I am going to just talk from my heart about what community means to me. So I have consistently shared here on Social Saturday Chat. Came in here, I was a lurker back in the days when I started, trying to figure out where my community was. It was right after, like during the ending of COVID. And so everyone was doing online chats, videos, and I was just getting my feet wet. I was like, okay, I'm trying to find my passion. I'm trying to find my community. I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. I always thought LinkedIn was a platform just for business to go out and find a job. I had no idea that LinkedIn was actually a community. For me, it has changed my life. LinkedIn has actually provided not just a community, but also motivation, mentors, real friends. It doesn't matter where these friends are located. They're all over the place, but real true friends and more like family. They've become family. And just to start a business and having that motivation to me, then they were strangers, but just them believing in what I was doing, that right there just said so much about how community can impact you as a person. If you have a dream to do something, or maybe you're trying to find your passion, talk about it out loud. Talk about it out loud. Come here on stage, converse with all of us. Let us know who you want to meet. You never know who's going to want to connect with you. Just speaking from my personal experience, I recall that when I started, I'm like, how can I start a business with no money? And then the community said, there's ways, we'll figure it out. And that's what we did. And so this whole time, 2 years in now, I'm running an organization. I'm just like, thank you for believing. And even for the organizations that we've been meeting recently, I'm so grateful to be able to hear you, for you to meet us and to accept us, and to coming in to get some collaborations going on. It is just impactful. Let's just say that. Felipe, where did you go?
I'm right here. I was trying to get the audio here and my headphones. I was trying to my ear pods, but it didn't work. So, no, I'm so glad you brought. Oh, and look who joined us, Max here. But no, Martha, what you were saying about community and what you've built is impressive. You have done so much with community that It really is inspiring. And I think that the way you shared it, it was a slow journey. And I think that's how it is for most of us. When I started off this whole live stream audio kind of journey, it was like you. I was in Clubhouse. I was like just raising my hand up, and then all of a sudden someone invited me to come up and speak. I'm like, about what? They're like, talk about this. I'm like, okay. And it was about HR, so I could jump in and do it. But it's also one of those things where when you have a community, you start realizing the support. I can't tell you how much support I had for me to go on live. People said, go on live. We want to see more of what you're doing with other people. I had the community of Sumana who was, hey, let's do a live together. Melissa, she was like, let's do a live together. And then all of a sudden that started growing. Mac, who I've known since, years and years, and Clubhouse, it was not even like he didn't even finish his sentence. Hey, do you want to do a show on Saturday? Yes. I was like, with you anytime, because I knew that he was somebody who I enjoyed. He was like a brother from another mother. But I did not anticipate meeting Joel and Martha and Lark and all the other people that have been with us. And so one of the things that I think is important is don't underestimate your community, but also don't expect things from your community. Let me explain that a little bit. It's one thing when community reaches out, but when you sit there and look at someone else like, well, how come they're not doing that for me? It's not about you right now. It's about them. And so that's what we have to remember, is that you can't expect people to always hand you things on a silver platter or do things. If the opportunity arises, it's up to you to take it. Or it's up to you to ask, hey, would you be willing to do this with me? Because so many people think, oh, they don't want to do it with me. Have you asked them? No, I just know. No, you don't. You don't know anything until you ask. I'm sorry. You don't know anything 100% until you ask. And that's where me asking a publisher, hey, I was thinking about a children's book, but I'm not really an author. Well, try it, do it, and she encouraged me. And all of a sudden, she'll do something first. Write a small chapter about LinkedIn. You love LinkedIn. Write a small chapter. Okay, I wrote a small chapter. I'm like, well, if I can do that, I can write a children's book, I think, because that's less words. And all of a sudden, the community is encouraging me. It's like, oh my God, that'd be so cool. We'd love to see it. My daughter's community started, getting excited. So that's the beauty about community, is that they don't hand you something that you wanted all your life right there and then. They join you for the journey. And as your journey grows, your community grows, your support grows. And that's the amazing thing about it. And that's why I'm so grateful for everyone that has been supportive of me, because I try to support everyone else as much as I can, but I appreciate so much the support that comes my way, and I don't ever take it for granted. And I think that's important for all of us to remember, is that it is something that we have to be grateful for, but also we've got to feel it. We got to feed into the community, because too many people want to take out without feeding it. And you've got to feed the community before you take. With that, because Joe, I gotta say, by the way, I love the words right in front of my face. I think it just makes me look so much more attractive. It really does. Sorry. Mac, welcome. How are you doing? How are you feeling? And what are your thoughts about this topic?
Well, apologies for the technical difficulties on my side. I couldn't get onto my PC. If I can do LinkedIn Lives, then anybody can. Because there was a little pop-up on my screen that had an invisible X, and because I hadn't clicked on it, it wouldn't let me do anything else on my screens. But I had some fun reminiscing when I was putting this together before I posted this event, because I didn't realize how many topics we had covered, how many people had been on this stage, how many conversations we had, where some of them, I mean, we had some really tough conversations here on LinkedIn, and how transparent so many people have been and willing to give, and vulnerability here on LinkedIn. But getting to know everybody, and it's in fact, on if you go and look at our WhatsApp conversation, Felipe, you'll see one of the first screenshots from back in the day when we were still on Clubhouse. But where this has led with getting to know our audience so well over the years as well. I mean, each individual has played such a role in other people's lives as well as our own. And I look at little things like Meryl that's just popped up on the screen, but each person has that ripple effect that they don't realize on others. And I'm sure there are days that some people who may have been going through just a day that they just weren't looking forward to the day, and then they get this invite from Meryl that they then end up on one of our conversations, and it changes their day, or it changes how they impact others on that day. So for me, it's been one hell of a journey, and just all these wonderful people that are showing up in the comments now. It just makes it worth it.
You just give me a great idea. I think that we should take this next 40 minutes, invite people up, but also I want to share what each of these people that are here today mean to me. And for example, if I were to go right now, I would say that Adrian, you are always somebody I think about when I think about Copper because of how much you love dogs. I think Merylcast, we cannot do this without your support and always sharing what we're doing out there, and whether it's a book, an audio event, a live stream. Mike LeBlanc, you're part of my children's book. You helped me. You wrote the song for it. That's something that will stay there forever. Same with Melissa Houston. She had suggestions on how to change things. David Pushkin, your radio voice, but also your education around neurodiversity, around disabilities, around the screen readers. You've added so much knowledge to me, and just it's so valuable. Kenny, you've added humor. You've added so much support of all the shows we do. Kristen Williams is another amazing supporter who I value her approach, her kindness, and how much she is curious about things. So I'm going to stop there. I just want to mention a few of the people and what they thought. And then I got to mention Gregory Liverpool as well, because Gregory Liverpool always challenges me with HR stuff. And I love that. It makes me think. It makes me think differently. And I love the being challenged. It's one of those things that it's always good to be challenged to think differently, because the way we think is not always necessarily the best way, and things evolve. So I just wanted to start that trend that throughout the show, we just remind people what was it about certain people that have impacted our lives, because I know that you all have impacted me tremendously, and I appreciate it. So I'll shut up now and hand it back over to you, Mac.
Well, I don't know what I missed before I came on, so I don't know who is where, but seeing great comments out there as well, and Michael LeBlanc's already responding. Where was it? I love that I'd love to know more. He needs to come up and say this, but he says something about word to the wise: don't catching a falling knife with your foot, or a falling sheet of plywood with your toe. And I'm just sitting there wondering, what is he doing with plywood and a knife? Unless it's like one of those axe throw kind of things where you throw knives. I don't know.
May I recommend steel toe shoes? That might be a benefit.
Here comes HR and health and safety. Epic. So Mike, you're going to have to come and explain now, because you've left us with all these wondering thoughts. But Melissa Houston, if you want to come up and say hi, please do. It's amazing. Like all these people, I feel like I've known them all my life, and then I haven't ever physically met these people, but it almost feels like they're part of my family. I don't know if you get that, Felipe, but
Look, I'll share something. I'll be very transparent. I say my prayers every day, every morning, and and I always through them I go through my family, extended family in Spain. And I always throw in my LinkedIn family. I always, and so it is a family. It is something that you are part of my Saturday. I kick my family off the porch here to do the show because they want to be able to talk and do stuff. I'm like, well, if you're gonna talk, no. If you want to be quiet, stay. But I'm hanging out with my friends and family over here right now.
Oh, absolutely love that. And the fact that you always get the sunshine and such quality sound. I tried sitting outside a few times and there's wind noise and then my dog's barking and the birds are going mad or the neighbor starts mowing the lawn. And I'm like, I don't know how you do it. But hey, we've got, I'm trying to find out where Gregory's on his way to somewhere in space at like Mach 3.
Hey, it's Top Gun Maverick. Come on, Mac.
Yeah, but I want to know where he's going at that speed.
Before we go to Gregory, I just want to say well done for getting up today.
Hey, if you only know what I've been up to today, but anyway, it's been a mad day, but it's all good. Gregory, my friend, and Joel, it's good seeing you smiling, my friend. Gregory, unmute, my friend. I had to mute you earlier.
Yeah, I did not know if you were done finished with Joel, and Joel was not done finishing with you. So that's why. That's why, in the words of Top Gun, I did not want to engage in a dogfight that I did not start, or I'm not, and I should not be participating here. So, anyhow, this is basically the last Saturday. So, in terms of networking, I will say not your HR canary in a coal mine, but your HR maverick canary in a coal mine. Thank you for Felipe putting the word maverick in that thought. So I'm basically rebranding it and running it soon on my LinkedIn profile per se. Thank you for Felipe for saying that, because people will say that I love in the words of the hockey analogy, the stick taps in regards to the compliments that Felipe has done that, because earlier this past morning, around 8 o'clock Central time, so that would be, I will say, probably early in the morning for you, Mac and Joel, in terms of the time difference and stuff. But Melissa Houston had a very good talk about do not overlook people in your network, in your community, and in your workplace. And this all ties because people who are working age disabled and maybe neurodiverse. Because hello, Christine, nice to see you. In Canada here, we have a unemployment rate for people who are who disclose that they have a disability to the tune of 46.2%. That is a good percentage if you are Stephen Curry, who plays for the Golden State Warriors, in a 3-point percentage for a season, not in terms of engagement of people who are working age have a disability in regards to that type of figure. If you do not know who Stephen Curry is, Google him, search him out. That's all I have to say about this. On top of it, go San Antonio Spurs tonight against Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. So in Oklahoma City. And this is another thing that basically really grind my gears is employees with disabilities who face ongoing wage disparities average $2.22 Canadian less per hour compared to their non-disability counterparts. That is a major crazy what the blank type of a moment in regards to income inequality or lack thereof in regards to two people, but one person has a disability, the other one does not have a disability. Therefore, we have to pay the person who has a disability a lesser wage because of their disability status. That really grinds me gears. There is basically I could guarantee you there's complement stats in regards to in the United States and America and United Kingdom in regards to that nature. So that's basically my quote unquote share of this social Saturday. So I bid you adieu in the words of Kenny Omega. In the regard, no, I'm not going to go Kenny Omega type of route because it's not appropriate. But I bid you adieu and Godspeed and hope to buzz the tower here. So yeah.
Hey, well, you know what, Gregory? It takes ongoing pursuit in order to get a message across. And throughout the world, we've got such disparity with so many different things, and that's why it takes individuals like yourself to keep speaking up, keep showing up, to make a difference, so that people start recognizing and start listening to make a difference in this world.
And Canada has 8 million people who are disabled. So you could do the math of how many people are being left out in trying to communicate to the society in the world of work per se. And another fiction is all the neurodiversities that is that formulates the spicy cocktail du jour. People who are on the spectrum has a high rate of unemployment per se. I wonder why.
Well, I think that may be having to be a topic that we actually take on and discuss. So, Gregory, message us or in the comments, drop some topic titles that you think would be good for this. And then for those of you that are listening, that are in the audience, do us a favor. Gregory, put a few topics, but in separate lines. And then let's go and vote for which one of those topics we should tackle the soonest. And then the one who gets the most attention, let's throw that into our agenda. That'll be great. Felipe, I see.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing real quick. So,
okay. I thought you were on mute.
Okay, I love your passion, Gregory, and keep it up. Don't lose it. I'm still going to challenge the one analogy that you keep on bringing up, that you're the canary in the coal mine. I don't like that analogy because the canary dies usually in the coal mine. So if there's any danger, so I to die.
Felipe, read the book. Read the book by Dr. Luella. It's basically her illustration of the corresponding book per se.
Okay, I'll check it out. All right. It's whenever you see the canary in the coal mine, like they sent the canaries down there to see if it was safe for people to breathe, and if they didn't come back out, it wasn't safe. So I'd rather have you send like AI down to do some investigation for you. That's all I'm saying. But I'll read the book. I'll check out the book.
Oh,
back to you, Mac.
Amazing. Our wonderful the voice that just sends chill, like what do you call it, goosebumps when you hear him speak, is hiding in the audience over there, and he's on stage, but has been so super quiet. So I just want to take the time to introduce and welcome David Pushkin to the stage, my friend. It has been too long, and you and I need to catch up off stage as well, my friend. It's been way too long. Welcome to the stage. Introduce yourself. Tell us what's on your mind.
Thank you. Go on, Gregory. Go
on. Felipe, the name of the book is called The Canary Code. Hence the canary in the coal mine. The Canary Code. That's the name of the book.
Put it in the chat. Thanks, Gregory.
All right. It's a fun little party already. Yeah. Just like to say happy Saturday, everybody. Felipe, really appreciate your very kind words. For those who don't know me, David Pushkin, Chief Encouragement Officer, lover of all things accessibility. Community is so important. Like, it really is. Like, we've built something really great here at Social Saturday. There's multiple topics, fun things. I've got to know all the hosts. I've got to know lots of people. I hang out regularly, have conversations with people. Myself and Tom Cullen having regular conversations pretty much most days. It's great. But, it is all about just the support, the amount of times that we get people sending us things, promoting, encouraging each other. That's what's really important. It's all about that. It's all about just encouraging each other, and kind of being there and high-fiving and, everybody coming to the party and giving their bit. And that's what's super important. It's when we're up, we're up. When we're down, someone's there to uplift us, with a kind word, maybe just, having something in thought. And that's what's super important here. It's all about our community, multiple communities, the community of humanity, is the biggest community. And, let's just keep being kind and encouraged. I'll yield the mic there. Happy Saturday. Stay encouraged.
You can't stop there. I'm just so enjoying listening to you speak, my friend.
We've got the rest of the show. There must be other guests who are coming on here. I can't even monopolize it all. Yeah.
I'm going to put it out there, but I'm demanding like a radio show run by David Pushkin where we could just listen to him interview and chat and, good. So please let us know when, because we will all be there.
All right. I will see what I can do.
Thank you so much for joining us, my friend, and always being that voice of encouragement. And I love what you reminded us there of when it comes to community, because I know that there've been days where I'm sitting and I'm like struggling. My energy's low. I don't feel like facing the day because life is happening. And I come onto a social Saturday chat and I walk out and for a time I totally forget about everything else and the world's a better place. So every single one of you, when you show up, when you comment, when you come here up on stage, when when I see the conversations between the community while we're up on here and people saying, hey, great to see so-and-so and so-and-so is great to see so-and-so. And it's like, it feels like Felipe was saying earlier about that whole like family gathering thing. It literally feels like a long lost like family gathering at the end of the year. You're coming together for for whether it be what do you call it in the US? Over here we have Christmas, Thanksgiving, or like one of those big events, and it's like just that kind of moment where you can forget about everything else and it changes everything. And it's so good to see the bonds and the relationships that have been created within our community, but outside of our community as well, within the members there. I'm going to hand the mic over to Martha. And one of the things, Martha, you've been very good at is not only bringing people into the conversations backstage, inviting people. You've also been doing a lot of networking and meeting people face to face recently. But also you've got a nice way of calling people out to come and join the conversation. But I'd also love to hear what kind of things would you like to see people commenting today so that they can be part of this conversation?
I do have to say, sometimes we're afraid to show ourselves, to show ourselves out on stage. And just speaking from personal experiences, when you show yourself, you're opening up more opportunities because people could see you. When they can see face to face, or if you're doing a virtual coffee chat, I always like to see who I'm speaking with. And yes, I've been doing a lot of networking in different events that I've been attending outside of LinkedIn, which is more for my work. Or service, not work. If you guys see my kid, he keeps walking back behind me, just FYI, that's my kid. But what I've noticed, hello, Mike. Oh my goodness. Okay, I am so happy to see you. Oh my goodness, this is huge, friends. This is huge. I got distracted. I'm going to pass it over to Mike because Mike is someone that I've had the pleasure of meeting behind the scenes. I haven't met in person, but hopefully one day we will. And Mike is on camera, guys. This is really huge. So I'm going to pass the mic over to you, Mike. It's so great to see you.
Well, I had to accept Mac's challenge to come up on stage and answer my comments. The knife drop was actually in the kitchen, and I was washing dishes. So I don't think I'd use steel-toe shoes in the kitchen. And the plywood was, I had broken glass, which is a whole other story. So I was putting a piece of plywood in that window because I have an enclosed porch that has these large glass windows in it. So I was trying to pull that piece of plywood out, and yes, I probably should have had some more work boot type situation. I don't think I actually own steel shoes, but anyway, so that's what's going on there. I'm just so happy to join. This thing about community is so important. It's my passion. I actually question to some degree the platform, LinkedIn. I think you folks and the LinkedIn Lives are maybe the exception. And it's a long story. I love Discord for the ability to do more community building. My question is always, so what do we do between the shows, right? And obviously we can DM or we can comment on each other's stuff, but I have this passion for what I call asynchronous communication, basically, meaning so that I can leave a message for Felipe. And then Felipe, we can kind of do this in the comments, but it just doesn't work very well because it gets scattered all over the place. So I'm looking for more. I actually ran a very large forum. It was for the book called The Shack. You may or may not be aware of it. We had the max users were somewhere around 10,000, and it was global. So I just have a passion for community building, and so that's why I jumped on stage. What Martha says about showing up on camera, I've showed up on camera on other shows. I actually don't really know why I don't really like to appear on camera, other than this big balding head. But I am joined by at least a few others on stage with that. So yeah, part of that is just getting over. And I think to Martha's point, I think once you do it, it becomes less of a thing once you do it a few times. And I've done public speaking. Probably the largest was probably around 1,500 when I spoke to. That was a big thing for me at the time. But it's kind of like what Felipe also touched on is like, well, what do you say? And I think this goes back to America and Jay and others that have said, I think we all have a story. I think we can bring our unique viewpoint like Gregory does. And also, I think it's so important to listen. Covey says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. But a big part of that is actually listening. And it's not just hearing. It's actually listening. Coming to this conversation. This is what I like about these shows that you guys do, is we all, if we drop our bias and our, because often we're coming to a conversation with baggage. And so if we can drop that and just listen to the other person, and here's Tom, I haven't seen on camera ever. Hello, Tom. That I think that's the power of community, is that when we listen to the other and when we empower the other through that listening, I think that's where the magic happens. So that's what I got for you.
Mike, I gotta say, first of all, thank you for coming up. And I don't know why you and Tom get so much grief for not having cameras on, because I see you on cameras, I think, more than not for some reason. So, But I love what you talked about community, and I think that in between that you talked about, that's really valuable because one thing that LinkedIn, Clubhouse, live streams have taught us, it's kind of taught us to listen a little bit better because we allow people to speak and we take turns. It's not just an all-out chaos, everyone talking over each other. So I think that's helped us a little bit. But the other thing is that in-between part you mentioned, that's so valuable because that's where the magic happens. One of the things that the reason why Mike wrote the song for the children's book that I have for my daughter that went out, as it's an international best-selling author or book, is because out of the kindness of his heart, he sent me a birthday song on my birthday. I was so impressed at how good the song sounded when I played it for my daughter. My daughter's like, "Did a musician make that for you? Is that like that sounds like it should be on the radio?" Like not because it was my birthday, because the way the sound of the song and the words and the lyrics. And I'm like, "No, that's a friend from LinkedIn that did it for my birthday as a gift." So like he's really talented. And as soon as she said that, I'm like, I need to ask him to do this for me. And I paid him, but it's one of those things where it didn't start off as a business transaction. It started off as a friendship that someone did something kind for me, and in return, that opened up the door. Those moments of kindness, they go a long way, and people remember you for it. But it's also about what do you do with that time in between? Are you reaching out? Not because they did anything for you, but because you know that they have something that maybe you can help them with, or maybe you want to hire them. I wanted to hire Nick as my publisher because I wanted to publish the book, and I met her here on LinkedIn. Nick and I have never met in person yet. So this is one of the things where I think that in-between part is so valuable. What's wrong, Mac? He looks scared.
I'm shocked and amazed that you and Nick have not met, and you're basically tied to a one of the best rail travel transportation type of vehicles known to manning humankind, Felipe. That's very shocking. That's why me and Mac had that both have those same type of facial expressions. That's the ADHD in both of us in that regard, basically. So yeah.
I tell you what, that was very strange because as my face went, I was kind of speechless. And then, Gregory, it felt like you were speaking through my mouth. I was like, as I opened my mouth, I was like, the words are coming out, but I'm not moving my lips. Like you were a ventriloquist. But that's exactly my thoughts because I'd always assumed that Nick and Felipe had met. Even though I've now met Nick twice, and I live in the UK, and I came out to the US, and we'd met there. So, Felipe, have you joined us again? Because I don't know, but the shock look on my face totally disconnected your signal. Hopefully we can have you back there. But I also want to just go back to what Mike was saying there about the listening thing, because I know a few people have mentioned this in the comments as well, and it's something that gets said often, and it's almost like it's almost as common as like when somebody says, "Hey, how you doing?" The natural response is, "I'm fine, thanks," and you move on, because nobody's actually wanting you to to give you the real answer, because if you give them the real answer, most people assume you're going to say, "I'm fine, thanks," and move on. And it's that actually being available to listen at that point in time and being present to really be open to listening, because a lot of the time we become so desensitized to what's going on in our worlds that we don't it's such a small percentage of people that are actually listening. A lot of the time it's almost like it's automated responses that we go through in life. And even with communication on LinkedIn, where there's so much automation and everything else now, we're not sure if somebody's actually listening, and it takes you by surprise when somebody actually listens and responds and asks a question, but waits for a real answer. I think that might be something that we need to do as a topic, because even though it's like eating and breathing, that we assume we know what that means, it really isn't something that we see too often, that real authentic listening. Where's Felipe gone? There we go. He's back again.
Mac, I just wanted to comment on that. I think it's also a skill, right? And I would argue, or actually tack on to what you were saying, is I think sometimes we can get so wrapped up in our own lives, and that actually includes. And if we talk often, you'll hear me talk about this mindset of scarcity versus abundance, and I think if we're trapped in a mindset of scarcity, that we think that basically that life is a zero-sum game, and that if I do something, then I become a competitor, and I just don't believe that. I believe collaboratively, we'll probably open up things that we don't see, or I don't know. I just think the universe is a lot more. That there's a lot more abundance in the universe than there is that we've been led to believe, unfortunately. And I also get tremendous. People have mentioned, and I'm humbled by it, but people have mentioned my music, and I get so much out of it. I can't even explain how it feels to do something for someone else, and then have them use it for a book or whatever. So it's just, I like I said, I get so much out of giving, I can't even explain. So,
well, it's something that giving is actually a gift to ourselves. And I find that because for me, I love helping people, and that's how I reward myself by helping others. Because seeing the impact and how it makes a difference in somebody else's life, I mean, that's a gift in itself. I think there's another topic that the gift of giving is so powerful. But
I just want to say one thing real quick. One of the things we say the word listening so easily, but here's a tip that someone told me a long time ago. If you're thinking about a response while they're still talking, you stop listening. So I asked them, so what do you do? It's like, write down your thought, and don't write down the whole thought. Just write down one word to remind you of that thought so you can come back to it. And when I do that, and I gotta say, Clubhouse and LinkedIn has helped me do that a lot, is writing down my points so I don't interrupt them or stop listening to them. Because when people are sharing stuff, if you miss out something invaluable, you can never get it back. So I just encourage people that if you're thinking about responding while they're still talking, you're not listening anymore. So I just wanted to hand that out. All right, so back to you, Mac, and hopefully my audio is working still.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We can see your sunshiny, smiley face. Everything is good. Tom, my friend, you've been waiting so patiently. We haven't forgotten about you out there in the woods. How are you, my friend? Introduce yourself, share what's on your mind. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Mac. Yes, my name's Tom Cullen. I'm an entrepreneur. I've just recently pivoted my business, and some of you know the direction I've taken it. I created divisions in my business instead of actually concentrating on just one, because I started them all together. However, I want to thank Mike very much for his accolades. He's one of the reasons I chose to start writing music. He and I collaborate on a weekly basis on different things, different items. So we have regular discussions, and it's been great. I've advanced things a little bit more on my end just because I have the web experience right now. So I have to apparently shut Kenny down here, who keeps sending me messages. Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, I'm smiling. All right, buddy. Anyway, long story short, things are going good. I have produced a lot of songs right now, not near as many as Mike, but the community part started with me in 2024 here on LinkedIn. Even though I was on LinkedIn for many years, I never got into the community. I needed the community in 2024. Philippe had been at my side a lot. Even when we had audio rooms, he came up to support me, and I must thank him for that. Kenny's always been there from the word go, and same with David Pushkin. David Pushkin and I talk on a regular basis every week, and it's been great. And that part of networking is what's important. That has also given me invites to other in-person networking here in the Okanagan. I'm going to Vernon this afternoon, which is about 30 miles away. I've been invited to different band groups to just show up. One of the bands in Alberta actually wants to play one of my songs that I essentially made. So it's moving forward. It's going great. I found a way to develop a product that allows people to build their own albums. So again, it comes back to networking. If you get in the right space at the right time, doors will open up for you. So that is my 2 cents worth. And yes, Gregory, thank you, fellow Canadian. But I just want to say things are getting more comfortable for me to talk online, getting a lot more comfortable for me to meet with people. I've always been good at online networking. I've been good in-person networking, but I haven't done it in many years. So things are changing in the right direction. So everything's going good. I'm going to yield the mic for now, but yes, that's certainly what's going on with me, and I'm very happy that I have a community like this to follow out. Thank you.
Oh, Tom, just hearing how it's impacted you, and you talking about other people within our community just as such people that you speak to on a regular basis. For me, I never imagined 4 years ago that this is where this would lead. I mean, I had no expectations, no I was just like, there's a new feature, let's have a LinkedIn audio. We went off Clubhouse and let's do this week, and I think it's on the 21st of June. We're at 4 years. So this month, I decided instead of just celebrating on that day, let's just celebrate the whole month, because 4 years is a big thing. But the relationships and hearing people like yourself come up here, talking about the fact that it's helped you and made a difference. But the fact that you're on here gives other people hope and inspiration as well, because they said, I know how I was before the leap of faith to kind of go on stage. It took me 3 months on Clubhouse, where I was in the background getting sweaty palms, thinking, what do I say? I've got to go on this audio thing. Like, what happens if I don't say the right thing, and just overthinking it rather than just getting on stage and going, hey guys, I'm here. And ever since then, the relationships that we've built and the people, and every single one of these people in the community, I'd love to have a one-to-one conversation with you. Just just a, hey, how are you? Where the hell are you in the world? What's going on? I always make time for people in our community, and it always surprises me how little we really know about the incredible stories, as Mike was saying, each one of us have. And that's the beauty that makes us all unique. One of the things that frustrates me in life is when people assume everybody should be like them, and then get frustrated when people are different. And I get excited when people are different, because I'm like, you've got a different story. You can give me some hope and inspiration. You've walked a different route. Maybe I can learn something. I just can't articulate how grateful I am for this community. Coach Carrie, you've been so quiet, not saying anything, haven't unmuted, haven't interrupted. Are you there?
Of course I'm here. I love coming to Social Saturday Chat and listening in. To Martha's point, I'm going to quote the great character played by Martin Lawrence, who said, I'm toe up from the flow up and make you want to throw up. So I am not going to come off camera. I am beautiful. And if you want to see my face, please come to Carrie Connects today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be super exciting. But what I wanted to point out about community is Matt LeBlanc and I used to get on this platform, and he can share the name of it, where we would have conversations sometimes for hours. And I think that it's important to protect the community. A lot of times people get on platforms like this and we give all of these accolades about how great and wonderful people are. And all of that is true. I just want to point out that it's very important to protect the community, because sometimes people will portray to be someone that they are not, or maybe they're just having a bad moment. And so I've seen articles and heard songs and things that were not necessarily positive about people in the community, and had conversations where people say, oh, don't talk to this person. You don't want to connect with that person. But I think it's important that you get to meet people for yourself, because sometimes people do have ulterior motives. So as we shout out our community, I just want to make sure that we protect our community. And sometimes we have to protect our community even from the people who are in the community. And so I just want to make sure that that does not get missed. And a lot of you all are future guests on Carrie Connects. I know Martha is going to be a guest. I know there are some other people that are in the comment sections that are also signed up to be guests on Carrie Connect. So let's continue to build the community, because the community is so amazing. I just want to make sure that we continue to protect it. And that's all I got. Thank you for letting me join.
Well, Coach Carrie, thank you so much for coming on. And that is a vital point, you know, the whole protecting the community, because we have such a broad community and not everybody has the best intentions. I do believe that everybody has good in them, and they don't wake up in the morning thinking that they're going to go out and destroy somebody else. But the reality is, you know, everybody's on a different journey, and we need to make sure that, you know, we guard ourselves and protect ourselves. And they say, trust but verify. I've learned to really seek out that true meaning in that saying. But you know, it is so important that we as a community look out for each other as well. And that whole finding out who you are and who you want to connect with is also important. But again, I'm just looking at the time, a whole nother conversation that we can definitely have a topic on.
This went by way too fast, way too fast, way too fast. And I'm seeing some great comments too in the chat. I wanted to just say something really quick with what Coach Carrie said. You know, when I first started the journey here also, I noticed like there was cliques. And so it's like, you know, everyone's protecting everyone and you're trying to get to know people. And then it's like, how do we welcome people in? Come over to Social Saturday Chat. Come over to Social Saturday Chat. This is the first place I invite anyone that I connect with. Come connect in Social Saturday Chat so people can get to know you. And then, you know, you'll be able to get to know people, different communities. You know, there's so many different communities, and I shouldn't say cliques because that wasn't a very kind word. It's more like communities. But yes, I agree. We need more kindness with one another because we don't know what we're going through. And a lot of us don't share out loud. So just be kind. I'll pass it over back to Felipe. Go ahead.
You know, I love that you said that, Martha, because I think, you know, there are cliques that are out there. You know, one of the reasons, you know, there's a lot of paid communities. Some are done very, very well. Some are very cliquish. There's only one person that I have actually blocked on LinkedIn. And actually, I can't even say I blocked them. They blocked me because I was associated with two other people that they didn't like. And I came to find out that he mistreated those two other people horribly, like horribly. So that's one person, I'm not gonna mention his name, that when he's associated with other people, I don't intervene. Now, that's one of the things that's why I don't sign up for paid groups per se, nothing against the ones that are done well, because some are done very well. But I wanna be able to be open to joining communities, and if it's oh, you got to do A, B, and C, and you have to do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, hold on. That's not community. That's a job. Okay, so don't tell me when to post, when to do things, and how to do it, because that's not community. And Rob Unger brought up pods. Pods. If you want a shortcut that gets you nowhere, go ahead and take it, because you'll end up, with mud on your face. I don't know anybody that has had success with pods without being called out. And the reality is, on the outside, they may look great, but on the inside, they're sitting home alone with no real value, no connections to talk to, and no one to help them achieve their goals. But I will say this: inspect but verify. Inspect what you expect, or trust and verify, and inspect what you expect, and also just make sure that you gotta recognize some people are not going to resonate with you, and that's okay. I have family members that don't resonate with me. I'd be shocked if other people didn't resonate with me. So it's going to happen. I'm okay with it. Just be respectful. If you come to my room, be respectful. That's all I ask. And I think that's all we can ask of each other is show respect and kindness. And the rest, we can disagree about anything. I am ready to debate any point respectfully. And that's the great thing about community. So I encourage this. I know we're over time, and I know we have Jay on stage. So Mac, I'll throw it back to you.
Felipe, I think we've got so many things that have, because like Martha said, it's literally just flown past. I was sitting here, I looked at the time, I was like, what? How? I'm sure we've only been on for 10 minutes. But that's the beauty of when you hang around people that kind of lift you up and fulfill and add value. And it's just, time flies by. So I think we've got so many topics off the back of today that I'll catch up with Martha and Felipe and Joel and we'll prioritize them and get them in. But I'm just, Jay, you've been waiting. It's been so funny. I've been seeing Jay's comments. Could somebody send me the link? And then the link comes into the comment. And then Jay says, somebody send me the link. And somebody else posts the link. And it's just it's like playing dodgeball. And then he asks again, and I put it up on the screen, and then he's like, can you send me the link? And I'm like, what else can I do here? Jay, we've got you on screen, my friend. Please share your thoughts. What's happening? So good to have you on here.
Thank you, Matt. Good afternoon, everyone. It's finally so good to be here. Oh my gosh. I really do have an important message about communities. When I'm in the community, right, I like to think of it as the workplace, right? But at the same time, I would prefer the in-person networking or community forming instead of virtual or online. And here's, let me tell you why, okay? Artificial intelligence, okay? You cannot put too much trust in artificial intelligence today, right? I mean, when you're forming community online, how do you know that the person in the community is a real person or they're just an AI generated cartoon, right? I would prefer the in-person because in person you can learn so much about a person face to face and even learn different or older skills. And at the same time, you're not left out as a person with different kinds of challenges, right? But whereas with artificial intelligence, you don't get that one-on-one experience. One day the robot will work. One day the robot may not work. So whereas humans, they don't break down. I mean, they have emotions, but they don't break down like robots do. So, and I think that it's a matter of trust and understanding of how we do things in communities. So that's an important point I want to make here. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's when it comes to AI, I think one of the things that we forget, AI has become very prominent because we talk about it a lot now. But AI has been around for decades. And if you look at the virtual space, and I know Joel and I have had many discussions around virtual offices and the virtual space, where for a lot of people that don't feel confident face to face, don't feel confident coming on camera. I mean, I sat with somebody this week who's an incredible business person, will not update her LinkedIn profile picture because she's not happy with herself, won't do a video on LinkedIn because not happy with herself. And I've been there where I'm like, oh, I need to lose weight. When I've lost X amount, then I'll go back on screen. I'm not quite, and that means that sometimes we need other forms of communication, and therefore things like audio is good. Some people prefer text. Some people prefer email. All of us will gravitate towards a communication method that is what we call safe. So. Stepping out of that comfort zone, that's the beauty of Social Saturday Chat, is we're not here to judge. We're not here to, give you a hard time, but we're here to uplift you, to find out how we can add value, how we can help each other get through some of the challenges. And I know there've been times where I haven't had the physical energy or the mentality to get on camera, but I know that this community have been there where people have sent me messages going, hey, Mac, just checking in. How you doing? What's happening? And the AI side of things, very quickly, because of AI, and also, now that we're so far, I can't believe it's been 6 years now since the pandemic, but people are desperate for human connection because of the fact that things have become so clinical. AI is great for a lot of things, but nothing beats human connection. AI will never be able to do that. So, Mr. Jedi, you're in a safe space here, and we appreciate you and we love you, and thank you for coming up, my friend. We have to wrap up. By the way, the majority of our audiences tends to be kind of American, and people like Gregory will throw football in there. And so I just want to say the Arsenal are playing today. They are my team. I only support them because when I first moved to the UK, somebody said, hey, who do you support? And I have no clue. I didn't even know which teams they were. And I just went, who's winning? And somebody went, Arsenal. I went, great, I support them. I didn't know they weren't going to win a cup for 22 years after that. But anyway, we've just won the Premier League last week. And
you'll never walk alone, my friend. You'll never walk alone.
Hey, well, Liverpool's coach just got fired today, so
I know. I just saw it, but I'm happy for that. I'm thinking, I saw that this morning, thinking, oh, we just sacked the manager. Oh, nice. We should have done that. We should have done that months ago. So yeah.
Anyway, I thought I had to just throw that in there, but beyond that, I don't really know much. I'm not a massive enthusiast in the sense that I can't name every single player and who scored in what minutes, and yeah. But anyway,
20 is better than 14 in terms of league championships. 20 is better than 14. All I have to say about that. So
anyway, should we move on? Gregory got me again. Folks, thank you so much for joining us today. Please, in the comments, or if you're watching the replay, put in what topics you'd like us to cover over the next few months. We'd love to have you on. If you want to come up here and you want to come and answer some questions, or you feel there's somebody in our community we should interview and really get to know better, go and nominate them in the comments. Let's do that. I'd love to get to know every single one of you, because we've got a lot of people that are acting very stealth. They show up, they communicate, they share comments, but we don't have a clue all the big things that you're doing in the background. So, let's delve a little bit deeper. And thank you so much for all of you that joined us up on stage today. Tom, Mike, Jay finally getting in. And thank you so much to everybody else that's been here. It's been so good to have you. I don't know if Joel will be joining us up on stage to say, hey, goodbye, this is what I'm up to. But I'm going to hand the mic over to Martha to give us what's happening and how we can support her. And then right at the end, if you stay right to the end, I'm going to share something with you guys that I just want to kind of drop out there and give you guys to go and play with.
Thank you so much, Mac. I want to thank all of our guests who joined us on stage. It's so nice to see the way you're all evolving. I've been encouraging, I know Gregory in the background, to start his own show because Gregory, you just have a voice, and I see a lot in you. So when you're ready, you let us know if you need help. And then anyone that's out there too, I know that I had scheduled.
Will do, MLA, will do.
Yeah, I had scheduled some time today to help some people. I know I'm not a techie person, but I will teach you the skills that I know and what softwares I'm using, and you can decide what you'd like to use. I think helping people. We just launched that with Paulette last week on Wednesday, and it's been getting a lot of views, which is very nice. I can see that. And also, it's a series, so we'll be on this Wednesday again, same time. So if you'd like to join us, we'll be having guests coming on from different organizations to share what they're doing in the community. So please, connect with us. And I'm going to now pass it over to Felipe. And I also want to thank our friends in the chat who are here. And Kenny has had me laughing, as always, in the comments. Okay, I'll pass it over to you. Kenny has had me laughing.
Okay, can you all hear me? All right, I just want to make sure, because I can't hear any of you all. I have to listen to you all through YouTube. So, but I did hear everything you said, and I'm glad, Martha, that the shows are going well with you and Paulette, because I think those have been some great shows you've done. And they have a real powerful message. For me, just, I look forward to you all submitting a number of topics that you all want to hear us talk about in the future, because this community really is about you, and you all help us build this community. And I look forward to it every Saturday. So to me, it is like Max said, it's a nice break to hang out with some great friends and meet some new friends. As far as what I have coming up, tomorrow, I do have Careers, Chaos, and Coaching with Melissa Houston at 11 a.m. Eastern. And we're going to be tackling and probably continuing a little bit of this conversation about how to take those online relationships into real life relationships and connections. And how can you enhance that? Because again, we're not saying there's a model for everyone, but you know what? Saying yes to opportunities is important. And if you get out and meet one person a month in real life, or you meet 10 people a month in real life, whatever that goal is for you, it's your goal. And I think that's important for us to keep on putting ourselves out there, because those opportunities don't always come knocking at our door. We have to go out there and put ourselves out there to find them. So if that resonates with you, join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. for Careers, Chaos, and Coaching with Melissa Houston and myself. And then on the following Monday, I will have the Workplace Wellness Hour. And we are going to be having a special guest that we're going to be interviewing, Marion Spears-Carr. And he's going to be talking about neurodivergency, but not just about how a lot of people talk about the typical things that people know about neurodivergency, but really people who maybe became neurodivergent partway through their life and how they've had to deal with it. And so that's something, whether it's due to an accident or whether it's due to other causes, that's something that is really something that we want to tackle as well as the people that have had it all their life, whether they knew or not. I know I didn't know I had ADHD until later on in life, but this is for people who may have had like a brain tragedy or things like that. And we're going to be talking about that in depth with Marion Spears-Carr, who is a healthcare executive. So if that resonates with you, join us on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, I'll be back with this amazing crew next Saturday for another amazing event. So I look forward to that. And with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Mac to wrap up and get us out of here. Over to you, my friend.
Well, we've just had instruction from Kenny. People smile when you're on stage. We all look so serious. Thank you, Kenny. That made my day. And with 150, I don't know, lots of smiley faces thereafter.
Kenny, come up here and smile yourself.
That's it. There you go. Call him out. So good to see everybody in the audience. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. For those of you who have heard me speak over the last few months about this blooming app that I've been building, because I've built an app through the frustrations of all the things that I have faced over the last 5-6 years about the stuff you don't know. All the things that I've learned from other experts on how to really get a return on investment on LinkedIn rather than just vanity metrics. And a lot of us learn from what we see other people do, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing. So one of the things that I've done is I've built a fairly comprehensive app, which will be split up later into various, like a light, premium, VIP version. But right now you get everything and the kitchen sink all in. I've dropped the links into the comments. I don't know if it's gone live. But if you don't, just go and search app.thelinkedinexpert.com and go and have a play. If you need any advice on it, come and ask. But one of my ADHD clients came to me and he went, Mac, I love the app, but I can't remember what I did last time, or what do I have to do this time? So we spent a couple of weeks building like a little guide that comes in and goes, hey, Mac, welcome. This is what you did last time. By the way, you still need to do X, Y, Z. And it will literally tell you what you need to focus on. So for people with ADHD, it's just like, okay, just point me in the right direction. I'll get stuff done. So go and have a play. I'd love your feedback. And, who knows where those conversations may go. And I'd love everybody to give it a go. If it can make a difference in your life and help you in your business or where you are at, achieve the things you do, that will make my day, even if it just helps one person. So with that, I want to thank everybody. We'll see you next weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. And go and do something nice for somebody without any expectations this weekend. Whether it's just opening a door for somebody, just pay it forward in some way. Because you don't know what's going on in somebody else's life. And sometimes all they need is a little act of kindness. So I'm going to leave you with that thought today and wish you all a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for joining me.